Hey, community group leaders and teachers, I hope you're doing well, having a fabulous day. Hey, I'm excited to introduce this week's Leadership Minute. This is one more tool that you can have in your tool belt to lead more effectively. Over the last few weeks, we've been looking specifically at ways that we can lead better by first going to Christ, building our foundation on Him, and as we grow, as we spend time seeking God, daily spending time in His Word, we will lead more effectively. We can't lead where we haven't been, but consequently we can lead where we have been. And so as we build on the foundation of our walk with God, we're more effective at leading others to walk with Him. We talked about spending time daily, whether reading the Bible or praying or worshiping to seek God. We talked about sharing what works with us with a few other people, inviting them into our journey, and even sharing some struggles and how that may help other people serve as a catalyst to help them grow and pursue God and run after Him in fresh ways. Well, today I want to talk specifically about some things that we can do to help ourselves grow, because sometimes we get in the spiritual ruts and we don't know what to do, how to grow, how to get out of those things. And so I'd suggest start picking up a couple of books and start reading. You know, sometimes we get in the regular rhythms and routines of reading our Bible and praying that before we know it, it's some stale, rote old process that we do over and over and over again. And while there certainly is benefits in doing it that way, that with repetition comes muscle memory, with muscle memory comes growth, and you literally can create some good sustainability by doing that. Sometimes it helps to shake things up. And so I've got a couple of books that I want to recommend. If you haven't read them, if you have, maybe look for some other books, some other authors maybe you haven't been exposed to. Shoot me an email or text. I would love to give you some of those. So the three that I grabbed off my bookshelf that are go-tos for me: Richard Foster, Celebration of Discipline. It is probably the classic work on spiritual discipline and spiritual formation. I highly recommend it. It will expose you to a whole new slew of different ways you can grow in your spiritual walk and engage with God in other spiritual disciplines. So Celebration of Discipline by Richard Foster. Can't recommend that one enough. Another one, The Pursuit of God by A.W. Tozer. Pretty much anything by Tozer is going to be so challenging for you to read, but so beneficial for your soul. Tozer is such a gifted author and communicator. Can't recommend his works enough. Finally, this is actually a different genre altogether. This is a missiology book by a guy named Don Richards called Eternity in Their Hearts. Now Don Richardson, when he wrote this, he was simply looking at what was happening with the Holy Spirit across the world as missionaries went out to the mission field, and then they were exposed to the gospel, and individuals were exposed to the gospel through the missionaries, but they found that the harvest was already ripe and ready to go because God's Spirit was revealing Himself to other people in other nations without missionaries actually touching the ground. It's actually an encouraging read, and it can't help but energize you to get more excited about sharing your faith with others, knowing that God is preparing many people to hear the gospel. And so this is another great book. So if you're in a spiritual rut, I encourage you, pick up a book, read it. One of those books would be a great starting point. If you want other recommendations, feel free to reach out to me. Know that I'm praying for you and praying with you as a leader, that God would equip you and encourage you to lead more effectively, and know that the best way that we can lead is by starting with our personal walk with God. As we continue to grow with Him, He will use us in greater ways to impact other people around us. I hope you're doing well and having a great day. I look forward to seeing you soon. Blessings.